This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making mid-five figures or more share their wisdom. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because transforming possibility leads to reality. So let's get to it. In a few sentences, question number 1, Gabe, in a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
My name is Gabe Arnold. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do a lot of things, but these days, business marketing engine and Copywriter Today, which is one of our big products, is what keeps us busy, and we help business owners get their message and their voice out there.
Love it. I love it. Question number 2, what's the best thing, Gabe, about being in business?
Being able to make an impact in the places and the ways that you want to, I think is what means the most to me. There's obviously freedom of time and money, but those are secondary to being able to really make a meaningful impact.
I love it. And I will add, because I know you fairly well, you have come a long way with regard to leadership over the past 12 months. So I know that impact has even deepened. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Question number 3. We hear from other business owners, you're going to love this. We hear from other business owners that there's so much business that the chaos is causing overwhelm. Tell me your thoughts on that, Gabe.
Chaos comes when you have not really mentored the other leaders on your team. And that's the first part. And the second part is that you haven't built strong processes that support them, which is part of being a leader.
Somehow I knew the word processes were going to come out in this conversation. And you are just genius when it comes to processes. I love it. I love it. Question number 4. What other successful business owners like yourself, of course, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom Podcast?
Jamie J, if you haven't already. Let me think here. I forgot that this question was in the stack. You've already had Miha on, right? So yes. Have you already had Jamie on too?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, definitely have Jamie on. And I would have Nate on too, Nate Kaminsky.
Love it. Awesome. All right, let's get to the crux of it. I'm sorry, say that again.
I said I'll think of some more for you, but that's the top of mind answer.
Awesome. I love it. Nate and Jamie.
Yeah.
Let's get to the crux of it. Question number 5. What piece of wisdom from your perspective would you share with other business owners?
I think you really have to, I think mindset is super key for anything that you're going to do successfully. I was having a conversation earlier with somebody about how there's been studies that if you think about flexing your biceps consistently every day, even if you don't flex your biceps, they grow. It's physically proven. It's a medical fact. You can go look up the research. And I bring that up because mindset is what drives everything else. And obviously, if you know Brad, then you know that. But there's too much limiting thought and there's too much limiting, mindset in all areas of your life. And we all have it. And if you start to break that down and understand it, then you can open up to what's possible. And literally everything is possible. Just like my little elephant here, that his name is Infinite Potential. Everything is possible. And when you start to think that way, everything gets a lot easier. And we get too much baggage and we get too many kind of conditioned patterns that happen over the years from our own doing or from other factors. And if you let those go, it's amazing what kind of life you can live.
I love it. I couldn't love that more. How can I love that anymore, Gabe? You're talking about mindset. You're talking about infinite potential. I mean, we both align very much in that space.
That's the beginning, because everything else is easy when you figure that out. That's why that's always the first pillar in the stack of what I teach people.
I love it. We've got a couple more minutes. Why don't you share the pillars? Because you share those often, but not all the tribe here has heard those. Would you be willing to share those?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in business, there's just 4 key pillars that you have to master if you're going to be successful and continue to grow. And you have to always work on these. They're not like I cycle through these consistently over an ideal year, but even if I'm in a longer stretch, it will happen over a couple of years. And so mindset and relationships is the first thing you need to understand and master. Sales and marketing is the second. Profitability and financial control is the third. And then the fourth is production and quality control. And those all marry together perfectly. And early on in my entrepreneurial career, I had entrepreneurial ADD, which we all do. And there's a place for that. And I still actually foster that in a productive manner now. But early on, it led me to I've created hundreds of products and ideas. And that's all well and good, but it doesn't actually move you forward. So now when I have that entrepreneurial itch of like, I need to do something new, then I'm like, okay, great. That's awesome. I will do something new. I'm going to look at the 4 pillars. I'm going to look at my business, and I'm going to see which of them is lacking the most right now. Like, where do I need to reinvest? And so I push my creative energy and my attention into whatever I haven't worked on recently in those pillars.
Love it. Banging. I could be just like boom, banging. I mean, it's some deep stuff, but it's some really important stuff when it comes to business. I love it.
Yep.
Let's change gears here a little bit. What's the most fun vacation you ever had, Gabe?
We went to Europe in June. It'll be 2 years ago. So we went there for almost 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks almost was the total vacation time. And I ended up taking a month off from my business, and everything ran, and we made money and we sold things. And so that was on both fronts pretty exciting, because if you ask most entrepreneurs, oh, can you take a month off? They'd be like, absolutely no way. And so that was, not only was it just an amazing time with my family and something I never dreamed I would be able to do, but it was a great, milestone in business at the same time. Cause I think I checked in, 3 times for 5 minutes to my general manager, and there was nothing to do. So it was great.
I love it. And I love how you described that as being a milestone, because when you're able to do that, get away for a month and everything's just still running, profit's still up. That's fantastic. Good for you, man. Kudos.
Thank you.
Gabe, thanks for being on. What's the website, or how could people get in touch with you when they want to get in touch with you?
Right now we're doing a lot with Copywriter Today, so I definitely check that out. They can go to copywritertoday.net, and we have free headline ideas tool to use there. We have a free sample article that you can get to kind of see how the service works. And if you're not getting in front of your audience consistently every day and every week, then you're leaving money on the table, and that's what we help people change.
We just talked about that a minute ago. I love it. I love it. I love how everything comes full circle. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making mid-5 figures or more, or much more, unlimited potential, share their wisdom globally. Thanks for joining us.